Thank you. So our student speaker this year, selected by competition, is Tony Amoury Alkhoury, who is receiving the MDiv from HDS. Tony!
There were some amazing speeches today in the yard, so Lord have mercy upon me now. Good morning, parents, friends, teachers, staff, alumni, and of course, good morning, class of 2019. Good morning to all parents who couldn't come today here for any reason. And good morning to my adoptive family who are here from Texas, California, New York, and of course, Boston. Thank you all for coming. Good morning to my brother in Brazil, and good morning to my mom and dad who are in Syria, all of whom cannot come here because of the travel ban put on Syrians. I pray that you can watch me now live and not sitting in the darkness of the daily blackout. I know when my mom will be watching this, she will be crying and saying in Arabic, "Ism Yasu'a hawalik," means, may the name of Jesus may upon you. Well, I hope she will be laughing now after my joke. On behalf of my family, of my parents, and on behalf of the Syrian people, I really want to thank my classmates who nominated me today to stand here. This is the best gift my parents would have dreamt of, and this is the best compensation for their absence. Thank you, guys. It was impossible in my first year at HDS when I was waking up every night with panic attacks because of the language barrier to imagine that I would be standing here today in front of some of the most or the smartest people in the world, trying to speak clearly and fluently and in a good way and trying not to make silly mistakes in English. I think I'm better than when I was before, but I will try my best. I hope today to share with you what Divinity School has offered us and what we can in turn offer to the world. When I came to the Divinity School in 2016, I came with many questions and a lot of tensions in my spiritual, intellectual, moral, and political views. I was expecting these tensions to be resolved. However, they were not. Let me share with you today 4 significant tensions that became relevant during my journey here at HDS. The first and the most clear, or the clearest tension that I and every single student here have faced since our first class, Theories and Methods, is the tension between theory and practice. What can we do and what should we do to deal with the tension between the academic knowledge we have gained here and the practical needs of ministry and the world? What can we really offer people who are in need and outside the academic bubble? In classes, we languished with text on eschatology, epistemology, post-structuralism, apophatic tradition, facticity, deontology, and a lot of other ologies and isms you can imagine. I would be very happy if someone could tell me what all these mean. I hope Din will keep our certificate after that. I do not want to ignore the importance of academia, the necessity of theory, and yet I struggle not to be swallowed by it. I do not want to forget that the ultimate goal is to make difference in the real world, not only in the academia, and yet I don't want to be solely defined by limits of practical experience. It's a big tension, isn't it? The second tension is the religious and spiritual tension, since we are divinity school students after all. A serious tension I have had in HDS when I came is how I can find balance between, on the one hand, my tendency to be revolutionary, to be critical, able to fit in the modern world and the new approaches to religion, and on the other hand, my firm roots in history, in tradition, in the Bible, and conventional ways to approach religion. I really struggled in my first year because I wanted to be faithful to Jesus, to my tradition and beliefs as a Christian, and conscious and aware of any attempt to tamper with what has been essential to the church history throughout the years. And yet, I want to be able to deconstruct what is unhealthy and harmful. I want to have the courage to challenge what needs to be challenged. And this is not the only religious tension. I also struggled with how I can find balance between my belief in Jesus as the absolute universal truth coming from a conservative church in Syria, and on the other hand, the beauty and the richness and the genuineness I have learned and seen in my colleagues from the religious others. HDS is a very unique space because it offers us a place that can hold these religious tensions in a very healthy way. My classes and my classmates in HDS helped me wrestle with this tension and see the importance of its both sides. HDS classes respected our freedom as seekers to determine what in our tradition needs to be maintained and what needs to be challenged. It respected our spiritual journeys, and it did not impose any particular agenda. The third tension is related to politics, America's favorite pastime. I want to be able to advocate to my political views, for what I really stand for what I really see as important to a just country and to a healthy community. I want to do that and be unapologetic about my political stand and my perspective of right and wrong. At the same time, I don't want to be polarized, intolerant, isolated, forced to live in a bubble with the people who are just like me. When I left Syria, the country was engulfed in civil war, torn between those who are proponents of the regime and those who are opposing it. Both were completely and still completely convinced that they are serving the country, but they are not. In fact, this polarization was the thing that torn the country more and more. I feel terrified when I witness today in the US a similar polarization. This country that adopted me and offered me the best education and probably the best employment in the future. The tension between necessity of standing for what we think as right in politics and not allowing that to build walls between us and those who see things as completely different than us is a huge difference. The last tension that I want to address today is one on a deeper level. It's grief versus hope. How I can live fruitfully within the tension between acknowledging and facing my grief, my trauma, my loss, my oppression, my imperfections, and all the things by which I am challenged on the one hand, and taking responsibility for my life and generating hope in order to move forward and survive on the other. A big tension during my journey at HDS was my continuous feeling that I am a victim of the war in Syria and the travel ban in the US, a situation which prohibited me from seeing my mom, who had breast cancer, my dad, who had open heart surgery, and my uncle, who passed away without being able to see any of them, and the possibility that I might not be able to see them for more couple years in the future. You can add to that my struggle with severe anxiety and mild depression. I want to acknowledge all of these issues and not run away from them. And yet, I want to live, I want to love, and I want to be loved. I really strive to be authentic and not to play the victim role, to justify actions that are against my morals and use people because I am stuck in this mentality of victim role. This mentality is toxic. The victim role mentality is toxic. I want to fight to keep hope and make meaning of all things that I don't have control over. Class of 2019. Our time at HDS is only the beginning of our journeys. The list of tensions I have shared is absolutely not comprehensive. I asked some HDS colleagues on Facebook after I was selected about what are your tensions in life? And I got similar responses and a lot others. Self-care and helping others, faith and doubt, intimacy and boundaries, construction and deconstruction, justice and forgiveness, and even tension about having tension. And you can add your own list. Every moment we have tensions. Every single moment we have tensions. Right now, we are facing tensions between the excitement of graduation and the anxiety of what is next. Our joy of accomplishment and our sadness of leaving people to whom we have been connected very deeply. I have a very serious tension right now. I'm trying my best to look confident and impress you, and look amazing. And something inside me saying, don't try to do that. Just be yourself and just be authentic and genuine. Back to what HDS offered us and what we can offer to the world. For me, the answer is this. HDS helped me accept tensions, to dwell with them, to befriend them, and yet grapple and wrestle with them, and use that energy to fuel myself and serve the world. My time at HDS has shown me that tension actually is empowering. This realization is a great thing we can actually offer to the world, because it will help us awaken, see reality, face the tension, and approach them with a constructive power instead of a destructive one. My friends, some tensions really threaten to hold us back. But what we can offer to the world is that insight that tensions in our life can pull us forward to find hope and meaning in our ultimate source of love. Class of 2019, I will use my mom words. اسم يسوع حواليكم. And congratulations!